Check. There we go. Okay, check, guys. What's up? What's going on? The Moralis mages. Do we have a connection or not? Checking. Guys, a lot to discuss today. Crazy week, as always. We have a lot of updates. We're gonna do some Q&A. We're gonna share some updates. Also, we have a lot of hackathons going on. It's a lot of hackathons, guys. And a lot of hackathons also planned. Let's see. This is working perfectly. There you go. So let's wait for a few more people to join before we start. And I just need to set up some links, and then we're gonna discuss. We have some big news: onboarding new chains, expanding to new ecosystems as well. As you know, we're moving to Unity soon. We're gonna have a native Unity SDK, Solana, and so on and so forth. And also at the end, we're gonna have some Q&A. Yeah, I see stream working. Yeah, guys, I see the chat. Perfect. Dmitry, Kaz, Marcus, Simmer. Very nice. So yeah, at the end, we're going to do some Q&A. So let's start. One very important news is that we are starting to support Avalanche. And Avalanche also published on their blog and Twitter today that we are rolling out the support for nodes already. And in the next few weeks, we're going to add the API and server support as well. So if you go already to your admin account on Moralis, let me quickly pull it up, moralis.io. And then if you go to Speedy Nodes, you can see something very special. Let me log in again here. Let's see. There, and I log in. You can see something very special here in the Speedy Nodes, namely Avalanche. And Avalanche right now, they don't support WebSocket. So we don't have WebSocket, but the RPC nodes are working with HTTP, and that's enough for most dapps. And next step for us is to also add both Avalanche and Arbitrum to the servers, because right now when you create a server, as you know, you can select ETH, Polygon, or Binance. And next for us is, of course, to integrate the rest that we have here in the Speedy Nodes, like Arbitrum and Avalanche. One of the most important things that we are aiming for as well in the next months is to really get Solana going. And that's why we are launching our Solana talent search. As you can see here, if you go to talent.moralis.io, you see that we're looking for Solana backend engineer. And this is a person that can really understand Solana and help us build APIs and integrations around a Solana node. So that's quite important. Then we also have a C# position as well. This is for Unity SDK, because we do want to have a native Unity Moralis SDK. And this is going to be very important, because if we can have a native Unity SDK, we can build mobile apps. We can build iOS games. We can build Android games very easily through Unity with NFTs, with crypto, and that's going to be massive, of course. And as always, we're looking for backend front-end developer relations manager. Very important job that we're also trying to fill at the moment. And this is basically that you create educational content, You are representing Moralis in different conferences and things like that. And the skills needed for this is full stack blockchain knowledge. Basically everything from smart contracts to web UI. So this is very important. Now, moving to the news. We have big news this week. Why? Because we have introduced a very good feature that is used by all apps. All apps need this. Look here, if you have missed the tutorial from yesterday, check here. Sending ETH tokens and NFTs. And you can find this in the Moralis documentation. If you go to this send ETH tokens and NFTs section, you see it right here. Basically what we've done is that now you can have one line of code to send ETH like this. And one line of code it is this one. And you need some options, but to actually send ETH is just this one line of code. To send tokens is the same one line of code, but you need to supply the contract address also, and then you can send. For NFTs, one line of code to send NFT, and you have to supply token ID and contract address. So try this if you haven't tried this. Because without this, if you are to use Web3, for example, to do a ERC20 transaction, you need to know the ABI, you need to construct this whole data structure. But here it's very simple. You just specify the recipient, the amount, the address, and then you can transfer with one line of code. So this is quite big. Now, many people are asking about plugins, when plugins are coming out. As always, plugins are next week, but I think that this time it's really next week. It's almost like a joke now that we have plugins coming out next week, every week. But I'm pretty bullish, guys. I'm pretty bullish that it's gonna be next week. What's interesting as well is that ETH is pumping as I get notification on my phone. ETH right now is at 3.8 almost, or let's see, what was it? 3.7? Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see crypto pump. So in terms of news, those are the tech news that I wanted to share, that we have Avalanche, we have this new SDK feature coming, and each week we try to bring you as many new things as possible, like at least some new features, some new SDK, some new elements. Like you remember last week we introduced this one. And of course, one of the key things that we are doing on this live show is that we're doing weekly challenges. And you remember that last week we did have Banalito win the weekly challenge, and we are sending the NFT to him today, because now we finally set up our OpenSea. And as you can see, if it loads, we have this NFT that we're sending to Banalito because he won the previous weekly challenge. And the first NFT in the Moralis DAO, by the way, the only way to get NFTs in Moralis DAO is to do work, So we created this one yesterday fully. And this is Moralis Monastic. We're going with this mage theme, as you know. And Moralis Monastic is the level 1 mage that Banalito is gonna get because he won the previous weekly challenge. You remember weekly challenge last week was to create a chat app based on which NFTs you have, so you can access different groups. So he won it. We're gonna send it to him today. And this is the simplest NFT because it's level 1. So the NFTs are gonna become more and more powerful with each and every week. And that's the whole thing, that we're building this collection. And the only way, like we also write here, the only way that new NFTs are produced is by work of engineering. This is the only way. Each NFT, each Moralis Mage card is only minted through code deployment. And this is the only true proof of code NFT, all right? Now, you may be asking, what is the next challenge? Well, you know the next challenge already since last week, because this challenge will be going on until September the 5th. Let's see, today is basically, until next Wednesday, we're gonna have this challenge to win the Avalanche Game Jam. And it did start already this week. It did start today, but already last week we started to prepare for it. So I pushed out a full series here on how to create games with Moralis. Already since a week ago, I've been pushing these videos, how to create an NFT game from scratch, how to do multiplayer, how to add assets from on-chain into your game. So go and watch that if you haven't yet. But right now, the Game Jam, the Avalanche Game Jam officially started. And if you win this, not only do you win 6K, if you come first in both categories, General and Moralis, but also you get the next NFT. And the next NFT is also going to be one of one This one is Moralis Monastic. Next one we're still preparing. We haven't prepared it yet, but it's gonna be next week. Also, I want to share a bit of the judging criteria, so you know, because this game jam, it has judging criteria. Let me find it. Here. I'm opening it up right here. Let me know if you can see this. So in order to win the Avalanche game jam, you have to think about these things. Number one, design. The fact that you use Avalanche assets. And how to do that? Well, you can watch my video, how to read those Avalanches from chain. Also, Avalanche have done a boilerplate project where they already fetch all of these Avalanches from chain. So if you are interested in learning more about this, just join Moralis DAO Discord, which you can find using the link below, and go here to Avalanche Game Jam, where we talk about this competition and you can get help in Avalanche Game Jam. So join this if you need help with the competition and how to read the rules and so on and so forth. But let me go back to this. So number one is the design. And here I recommend to use the boilerplate, the Moralis boilerplate that they give you, because they basically fetch the NFTs from chain, they do animation, sound and music. I guess here you need to find some on your own. And the custom assets, basically how well everything is playing. Creativity, Avalanche lore, that game feels like Avalanche. Use of crypto ecosystem. So here they gave an idea that it should be something that you interact with on chain somehow. Maybe it's that you pick up assets and those assets are real NFTs or something, but it should be in the crypto ecosystem that you somehow can interact with the blockchain. Use of Avalanche trace to affect gameplay. Use of Avalanche variables. So these creativity things. Gameplay, basically how fun is it? That's the only thing. I would focus only on replayability here. Because look, it's just 5 days. I don't know how much you can do of the strategic depth and stuff like that, you know. But basically, is it fun? Is it true? I think the most important thing here is the replayability. Is it fun? Is it not fun? Because it's 5-day game. I mean, what kind of strategical depth? I think this is, maybe if you can get strategic depth somehow, but I think the game should be simple because it's just 5 days. I mean, strategic depth, and you know, if you create some kind of MMORPG, maybe you need some strategic depth. Okay, if you're creating a game in 5 days, I think it's good if it's like small game and it's very fun. Okay, so figure out some small mechanic, some small quick mechanic that is fun to play, and that should be enough. Yeah. So when it comes to the hackathons, we have the Avalanche. We soon, or actually not soon, it's already tomorrow. It's very soon. It's not only soon, it's very soon. We have the Polygon Hackathon. Let me pull that up. It's another one you can participate in. And we're gonna, let's see, Polygon, how do I find it? Polygon Hackathon. We're gonna also connect it to the weekly challenge somehow. Polygon, let me find it, because there the prices are quite high. It's like 100K total prices. Let me pull this up here. So after Avalanche, already starting from tomorrow, you can participate here, by the way. Polygon Grand Hackathon. So price pool is 100K. I think we will increase it because we also want to sponsor it. Right now, we're just educational partner. Because, yeah, you see here, we're listed as educational partner, but look, we want to be a sponsor, but I'm also one of the judges. But we want to be a sponsor so we can contribute to the projects here. But anyway, this is the other one that you should join. So to join it, go to Polygon, see here, polygongranthackathon.com and join Discord. I'm not sure how long this one is gonna continue. So maybe oh, here we have the calendar. Let's see. 2 weeks, some kind of panel, month, September. Yeah, I don't know when this is gonna end. I need to do some more research. But the next hackathon we're gonna focus on is this one, Polygon, all right? Because Polygon is not joking around, you know. I mean, these guys, they're really focusing on the community. So, of course, if you want to win this kind of prizes, Moralis can help you a lot, because I guess it's going to be a few weeks of building, maybe a few days, and you have to build quickly. I mean, you have to wow the audience, the jury quickly. So Moralis is a no-brainer for this kind of hackathon. Then after Polygon, we have another hackathon as well, but it's not even announced, but it's already in the work. And then we have a fourth hackathon as well, okay? Like, it's a lot of hackathons, guys. and then we have, we're gonna go back to weekly challenges, but I think for the whole of September, our weekly challenges and our NFTs that we give away for Moralis Mage in weekly challenges, these ones, and by the way, let me know if you have any Bored Apes. These ones, let's see, where is the, there. These ones are gonna tied to the hackathons that we have, because we have a few that we participate in. So that's key. So I would focus a lot on the hackathon, because at the end of the day, in order to be good at development, you have to build projects. And what better motivation than to actually be able to win something? So that's definitely a big opportunity. So to summarize, Avalanche Hackathon is happening now. Next one, Polygon. Next one, after Polygon, we have an announced one, which is very big, extremely big. One of the biggest cryptos organize it. And then it's gonna be ETH Global. So the fourth one is gonna be ETH Global. I can announce it already. So we're gonna participate in ETH Global as well. Anyway, guys, what else should we discuss before we go to Q&A? Let me check Discord. Maybe I get some ideas. We have, yeah. I mean, the big thing for us is Solana, guys. How? And let me draw a bit. So when it comes to, for example, Binance Chain, when it comes to ETH, when it comes to Avalanche C chain, which we just added, when it comes to Matic, you know that they're all built in the same way. And here Avalanche C chain. C chain. You know, they're all built in the same way. It's all EVM. And Moralis already provides very nice, unified way of working with all of them. You use Moralis, your user is active on any of these chains, you get updated in your database about all the activity of your user on all the chains. I see a question, what is the Polygon Hackathon URL? Let's see, let me find it. It's Polygon, I showed it to you, Polygon Hackathon, let's see, Polygon Grants Hackathon.com. I will post it also here. Polygon Grants Hackathon. So, you know, a lot of these things, they're similar that we have right now, Binance Chain, ETH, Avalanche, Matic. And then, of course, our next step is to go beyond just EVM, because EVM is great, but there are also non-EVM chains that are growing like crazy. And as a developer, you cannot miss out on that, because Solana, of course, is massive now. You have potentially other ones like Elrond as well, getting pretty big. And so these systems, like for example, Binance Chain, ETH, Avalanche, Matic, they're completely incompatible with Solana. If you are a developer, basically, if you build something on any of these, you have to start from scratch. And here's where Moralis comes in, because our goal is to bridge this, that we take care of this complexity, we figure out how to remove this barrier so that we can have the same APIs for everything. What do I mean by that? Let me find the documentation, docs. So that we can have the same API. For example, if you want to get the tokens on Solana, you use the same thing. Moralis Web3 token, get token, metadata, and then you just specify Solana. So it's like you specify Binance Chain, you specify ETH, and you can specify Solana. If you want to get the assets of the current user, you just write Moralis Web3 account, get transactions, and if the user has added a Solana address into their account, then we'll also give you the Solana assets. I mean, transactions. This is massive, you know? And we've been thinking about this from the start, because as you see, we have this merging addresses feature, and we had it from day one when we launched Moralis. Because, you know, one user can have many different addresses, and you as a dapp developer, you shouldn't worry about that. You should just be able to have all of them into one user profile and work with them, okay, as if they were one user. So that's why we have from the start, you can use it already on Ethereum and Binance Chain. You can link Moralis Web3 link, okay? You can link accounts together. So you can have one user and they can have like 10 different addresses. And so here, if they can even link, by the way, we even demonstrate how to link Elrond, okay? How you can have Elrond address as well in your Moralis user. But we didn't go further because we had so much things to do on our basic things. But next for us is to be able to add Solana addresses and then also to sync the user data from Solana. That's huge. And you as a developer, you get the same API. You use just this to get Solana also now. Reed is asking, what license does Moralis require? Can be used? Yeah, you can use it commercially, of course. You can use it. The only thing, if you go to production, guys, reach out to us. That's why we have here. Before releasing dapp to production, please email us. Because if you don't, if you just use the servers that you create on your own, they're not gonna be at full capacity. Because we have a lot, we have a lot. We have a lot of people trying Moralis. A lot. Like we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands. So when you create servers here, they are not at full capacity. And that's why we say just email us. And we answer quickly. And we just, we turn on a button so that your server becomes full capacity. But with the interest we got, we had to make this small change that the servers that are created by default are not at full, because otherwise it's gonna be a lot of resources just for development. So this servers you create yourself here, they are perfect for development. But when you go to production, we just need to click a button so it's production ready. So that's the only thing. Email us, we can click that button and we answer pretty quickly. So yeah, that's it. That's important. And also soon we're gonna be introducing paid plans as well, because many people are asking us about professional support, that we actually have a business relationship. So that's coming up soon as well. Next week, as always, everything is next week. the plugin next week, the payment plan next week. Yeah. But to answer your question, you can go in production, yes. And when you go to production, we also create a group chat where we help you. In case some kind of problem, big issue, something happens, something urgent, we can help you. So that's also what we're gonna do when you email us. Answering some question here in Discord. Bam, perfect. Okay, more questions, guys. Let's go to Q&A more. What are the transaction fees when minting an NFT on Solana? Basically zero. They're so low, you don't even notice them. I recommend you to try Phantom Wallet. Go and I'm a big fan of Phantom Wallet. Look, phantom.app. Use this. This is gonna change your life on Solana. When you try Phantom, you understand that Solana will be big. That's why we are moving to Solana. Integrating Solana, it's very expensive because it's totally new tech, totally new everything, totally new ecosystem, totally new infrastructure, totally new API. Totally new everything. It's very expensive, but we think that it may be big. Of course, nobody knows. Maybe it won't. But the reason, we've seen a few of these projects come and go. The reason why EOS failed, you remember EOS, is because they never figured out a wallet. It's crazy. You never had a good EOS wallet. It was so horrible. And what was most horrible is that when you told EOS community that your wallet is horrible, please fix it for your own best, they get very defensive, I remember. And unfortunately, without a wallet, nobody will use you. And when nobody uses you, nobody develops. And it's been an unfortunate downfall of EOS because without a wallet, nothing matters, okay? You can have the best consensus. You can have the best everything. Transactions per second, transaction fee. If there is no great wallet, it's all garbage because nobody will use it anyway. So that's why the power of MetaMask is so huge. If you have Binance Chain or Matic, people can just use MetaMask, and that's why they get traction. Other chains without MetaMask, they have such a hard time to get traction because there is no wallet people like. So when I saw Phantom, it basically the closest I see to MetaMask, but it's also better. Don't get me wrong, Phantom is better than MetaMask. It's more modern and everything. And it has to be. For people to switch to Solana, the wallet needs to be amazing. So With Phantom, we became even more bullish on Solana, and that's why also we're gonna integrate it like this. And the Moralis SDK is gonna be supporting all these chains, even Elrond in the future. All these chains is gonna be are gonna be supported in the SDK, so the developers don't have to care about the differences. It's gonna be the same way to get transactions, users, assets from all of them. Yeah. Does this mean Moralis can perform audits on? No, we don't do audits. No. Audit is very different. Audit is it's different kind of company that does it. It's people that read smart contracts, evaluate risks, and so on and so forth. So we don't do smart contract audits. It's very different from what we do actually. Yeah. And smart contracts audits are very difficult to do also because you see how many. Yeah, so I'm not trusting any audit, you know. It's good to have, but we've seen also that they don't really mean a lot. Still hacks, you know, things are still hacked. Let's see, how do I remove things? Of course, it's better to have an audit than not to have an audit, but please don't put a lot of trust into audits. Let's see, vector, can I remove stuff? Maybe not. How secure is Solana? So Solana is very secure. And it's done in a way. The reason why Solana is so interesting, let me draw it to you. The question, of course, is why Solana? So Solana has transaction ordering. This is very important. This is key. Because right now, your big blockchains don't have transaction ordering. What does it mean? It means that if I send a transaction, you can do transaction after me, but you will get into the blockchain before me. So here is where we start talking about sandwich attacks. What does it mean? It means that you want to do something on the chain, on the blockchain, like you want to buy something on a DEX. I see that you want to buy an asset on the DEX, and I send another transaction to front run you. I try to buy before you, so the price gets worse for you. I push up the price right before you buy, and then I instantly dump. I dump the asset back onto the market, so now the price is lower than what you bought it for. It's called sandwich, that I front run you and then I dump straight after. The only reason it's possible is because Ethereum and Matic and the Binance chain, they have no transaction order. And this is also what we call dark forest. If you want to do some own research, you can Google dark forest. Google dark forest ETH and you will see it. It becomes very complicated to, for example, save funds in a smart contract that has a bug, okay? Because let's imagine you have a bug in the smart contract, which means that anyone can steal the funds from the smart contract. Yeah, but it's undiscovered. Nobody has discovered. And so you try to withdraw the funds using the bug because you want to save your smart contract. You see that your smart contract, maybe you launched some kind of protocol, some kind of exchange, and you found a bug in your own code. And you want to drain the money from the smart contract yourself. But the problem is, as soon as you send this transaction for draining the funds, now anyone can see it. And somebody can try to front run you. And you know, now the hacker can drain the funds before you, now that you show what the bug is, by doing a transaction on chain. So this is the whole issue with dark forest. So Solana, they do have transaction ordering, which means that at some point, Ethereum ecosystem will reach a glass ceiling. What does it mean? It means that when we develop ceiling, so when we develop DeFi, there's always some improvements to make right now when it's still early. So let's say we have better design, we have better API, we have so many improvements. So this is where we are right now. That DeFi protocols on Ethereum can compete with each other by improving the tech, improving design, improving API, improving features, improving. But what happens when all of the possible improvements are already made? What happens when all the low-hanging fruits are already taken? This will happen in 5 years because of this competition for money, of this competition for TVL, of this competition for liquidity. All DeFi protocols and projects, they're competing with each other. And in 5 years, they're gonna be so good, it's gonna be difficult to find new things to improve. Kind of like social media is at right now. Look at Twitter, look at Facebook, and man, there's nothing to improve more. They're stagnant. They're stagnant because they have basically perfected this whole retention product and so on. So at some point, Ethereum will also reach this glass ceiling where all of the improvements are kind of made. Yes, there's always something to improve, but all of the low-hanging fruits are taken. So then the only low-hanging fruit is to ensure transaction ordering. And so protocols that want to make this improvement that is impossible on Ethereum, they will have to do Solana or something, or some blockchain of that caliber. So that's the bullish argument for Solana. Why Solana will be big? Because all DeFi protocols on Ethereum, when they already improve as much as possible, the next improvement is to actually offer transaction ordering to their users. Now, the bearish argument for Solana, as you know, is that best tech doesn't have to win. And they have this example of JavaScript, HTML, CSS. This is horrible tech. Okay. What we're using right now to build websites, it's horrible, Why do I have to learn 3 different languages to do a website? I mean, who invented this garbage? It's garbage. But it's global. It's the standard. This is what we use. This is what got adoption. Before JavaScript was the standard on the internet, some browsers actually experimented with Perl. You could build websites with Perl instead of JavaScript. But JavaScript won. So this is an example where best tech doesn't always win. And that's why Ethereum could be the standard just because of the network effect. Because of course, nobody can compete with the network effect of ETH. Ivan, what's the music at the intro? Oh man, I don't remember. I found it on Epidemic Sound, We bought a subscription, Epidemic Sound. It's nice subscription for content. You can use any... Let's see if I can play it, by the way. Maybe I have... One second. Let me try to find it. I will go to that screen. Give me 1 second. It's called Mary Riddle, okay? Maybe you can find it. There you go. Will you eventually have Solana? Oops, one second. Will you eventually have Solana programming classes? So when it comes to Solana, we will integrate it into Moralis, and you don't need to know a lot extra to build on Solana. You just need to know Moralis. So, but yeah, in that sense, we will. Are there any news on Devil's position? Yeah, so our HR is will reach out. They're always reviewing. But yeah, I mean, now that we have a system, before the current system we have, which is very good. It's called Team Taylor, by the way, but it's very good because now everyone gets a response. Even people that don't get a job, they will get a response that they did not continue. And people that did continue, they will get a response that they did continue. But we haven't chosen yet. We're still looking. But you're certain that you will get some kind of response. Before we adopted the system, it was chaos, man. I mean, we had like hundreds of emails in 5 different email boxes everywhere. Now we have only one way to apply, and it's to go here. And it's because that's the only way we can like manage and professionally also handle everything. Because of course, when you apply and you don't get any reply, it's very unprofessional. And this is what we had before, and we don't want that. So that's why now we only, we only do through that talent.moralis.io, and everything is handled there. But yeah, so we still haven't chosen, but the updates will come. I mean, 100%, because if you are in that system, they will come. If you applied before we have the system, probably nothing will come because, but we didn't even have this position then, I think. But anyway, apply through that system if you haven't, talent.moralis.io. But yeah, now we have a system for handling each and every application, which is amazing. Man, it's very amazing. Because before we had like, 5 emails for different positions, and sometimes we had like Google for, yeah, it was crazy. Is it okay to use Moralis built-in database for everything instead of separate data? Yeah. So store. That's the whole point, Artem. Store everything there. That's how it should be done. Exactly. Engine. Yeah. I know about engine raising. Let's see. I mean, one thing with engine is that they are, of course, a great project since a long time. They invented ERC 1155, as you know. So engine are great, but unfortunately they haven't really executed last few years. Like for example, Rarible, OpenSea, they stole basically the cake from engine. But I know about new chain, and that one seems promising. So let's see. But I remember engine was like one of the key massive projects. Another one, I don't know what happened to them, but you remember Loom? Loom was also a huge NFT project. Not sure what they do now, but they kind of abandoned their whole app chain ideas. Not sure why, because I mean, if they just stuck around a bit longer for this NFT boom. So yeah, let's see. Oh man, if you applied through Google Form, please reapply with talent.moralis.io. Because it's somewhere there when we had the Google form that we realized that we cannot handle it. Like it was too many applications and we have no like system for them. But now if you apply from talent.moralis.io, we have a system. It's this talent system, management system. It's very good. So yeah, but yeah, so sorry that you have to reapply again, but yeah, we need to do it. How to build lazy mint NFT? Oh, it's very simple, but you basically need to have your own marketplace. But what is lazy mint? Let me explain to you. OpenSea does a lot of lazy minting. It means that you ask the user what NFT they want to mint. So you ask them the title, you ask them the description, the properties, the image. And when they click mint, you don't send anything on chain. So when they click mint, so user clicks mint, you save all of this data in your database, and that's it. And this means that they can change title, description, image. They can still change all of this. And the only time where the NFT actually gets minted on chain is when you want to transfer it. Let's say you want to send it to someone. Then it is time to actually put it on chain, or when somebody buys it. Because then the buyer will pay the transaction fee and the fee of making it on chain. So lazy minting is a very simple concept. To save you on the gas fees when you mint, because you know, some artists, they mint 10,000 NFTs. You know how much gas it is to mint 10,000 NFTs? It's crazy, okay? So instead of artists paying the gas, the buyer is paying the gas when they buy the NFT, because that's the only time when the NFT is actually put on chain. Which is amazing for OpenSea users, but it's also that you cannot, when OpenSea does a lazy minted NFT, no other system can interact with it. You cannot have it in your wallet, you cannot have it. So that's why with Moralis, I mean, we don't see lazy minted NFTs because they're not real NFTs. They're a database entry in OpenSea. And the same thing with Etherscan, they cannot see lazy minted. I mean, nobody can see lazy minted NFT until you transfer them on chain, you do an actual transaction on chain, or someone buys them, because that's when OpenSea will actually mint them for real. Ivan, when will you search for test management for Moralis development? Yeah, I mean, we actually need that. We actually need that, yeah. We will probably post it. We need more QA. And yeah, so look, we don't have it right now, but that's a good idea, by the way. We may see you invent your own job. Go to talent.moralis.io and then click connect here, because when you click connect, it will, and click all departments and continue, then you will get updates when we publish new jobs. So please do it right now if you want to, because yeah, I think we will publish, so talent.moralis, because we will publish this job soon with test, because that's actually one thing that we've been thinking about for quite some time. Yeah, and it is time now for us to have more staff doing testing. But so Mario, what kind of testing you do? You do, like, you're a developer, like you do tests, you write tests, or you mean that you're more like, you know, clicking tests? Because what we need, it's more, you know, writing tests, like developer writing tests. Okay, then of course there is always some room for like manual testing as well, but the big test, I mean, this automatic tests where you have new deployment, all tests have to pass. integration tests have to pass, stuff like that. So that's more of the testing that we are looking for. But anyway, yeah, sign up there and we will push a job, yeah. Does Avalanche have any... Oh man, to be honest, I don't even remember exactly the advantage of Avalanche, of like Avalanche versus Solana or and so on and so forth, but there is some similarity. And you know, for me, when I look at Avalanche or Solana, I'm not looking that much on, you know, consensus and how it works. I'm just looking at adoption. And so when it comes to Moralis, we look at where our people are at, okay? Because if developers are on Solana, look, we don't care which consensus they have, this and that, like transaction per second. If developers are there and people want to build dapps there, we're also there. So that's why I cannot tell you exactly, you know, pros and cons of Avalanche, but let me tell you what I know. So Avalanche is a very complex system, and I will actually interview the founder, Emin. I will interview the founder, so he will probably teach me and you more in the interview. But you know, Avalanche, it's a system that runs an EVM, which is the C chain. So this is what we have in Moralis right now. We have the C chain. I think they also have the P chain, which is something else. And then they have like a third chain, which is something else. So it's like different chains. But what we have in Moralis is the C chain, because this is the EVM chain. And the same thing is with Solana on that front, that Solana itself, it can run an EVM, you know? So Solana, it has the native environment where you can build, but it also has Neon. So Neon is the EVM on Solana. And it's going to be interesting to see which one becomes big, because right now, most dapps, they build on the core Solana platform, not on Neon, because Neon is not even out, okay? So all of these different applications on Solana, they're being done on the core Solana platform. And these EVMs is kind of like, you know, JVM, a Java virtual machine, that some apps are cross-platform. Those that are done in Solidity, they can be run on Solana, on Neon, or they can be run on Avalanche through C-Chain, or they can be run on Cardano. You know, Cardano is coming soon out as well with smart contracts, like in 1.5 weeks. They have the KEVM, which is EVM on Cardano. So what's interesting is that EVM becomes kind of like Java virtual machine, you know? With all of these different platforms, Cardano, Avalanche, Solana, they all support EVM. You can launch your dapp on the different platforms using Solidity, using EVM, but also they have their own native platform. So let's see. But yeah, I cannot give you exact explanation, like technical consensus details between Avalanche and Solana. And also to me, it's less important. Like I'm not that interested in, you know, exactly how consensus is reached on them, because I'm a bit more pragmatic. What are people using? If people are using Avalanche, we're gonna be on Avalanche. We're gonna build APIs for Avalanche. We're gonna build SDKs for Avalanche. Because you cannot look too much on the tech, because that's not that important. Imagine, for example, looking too much on EOS. EOS, great tech, no adoption. Okay, Tezos, kind of the same. Great tech, no adoption. So first, number one, adoption, and then we can figure out the tech. I mean, that's the approach I have from the pragmatic standpoint. And let me know what kind of approach you have. But of course, for Moralis, from Moralis standpoint, we're looking at adoption. If something has adoption, we will build APIs, SDKs, we will support it, because we are where developers are. And if developers like something that they like, we are there as well. But I like this tool, it's Sketchpad, sketch.io. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, very nice. Any plans? Yeah, that would actually be a cool thing to do. Lazy mint tutorial, but it's, you know, it's so simple. It's but yeah, it would be a cool thing to do. I will add it to the backlog. Lazy mint tutorial. We will add it to the backlog to do it. But you see, I like it, but I also don't like lazy mint, because I like it from the user perspective, but from an interoperability perspective, it's very bad. You know, like nobody can see your NFTs if they are lazy minted in OpenSea. And if OpenSea disappears, your NFTs disappear that you have minted there. But it doesn't matter, because if you minted your NFTs in OpenSea and they're lazy minted, and you haven't done any transactions, you can just recreate them somewhere else. Because as soon as you do a transaction, it's no longer lazy minted, then it becomes on-chain. So I guess it makes sense, yeah. Test manager, test analyst, ISTQB certified. Ah, perfect. I'm not sure what that is, but our devs probably know what that is. ISTB, let me actually check. ISTB. It's some certification for test manager, test analyst. Certifying, okay, that's nice. So you have this thing, test analyst. So you're this one. Nice. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna check. Nice to see you on YouTube. Perfect, Cheetah. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. If that's it, let me play some good old jazz right here. You remember what it was called? Mary something, right? Mary. Where's Mary? No, okay, I don't know what. I want to play that jazz song, but I can't find it. 1 second, give me. Okay, so almost there. I found it. There you go. It's a very nice tune indeed. Should we contact? Yes. Just like... Check. I hope it's not too loud. Yeah, so just like we write on the page, you go and you contact hello@moralis.io. We answer very quickly, yeah. And then we're gonna update your infrastructure. Thanks, Ivan. As always, see you next week. Perfect. Yeah, guys, we're ending this. We're ending the live stream. Thanks a lot. Great questions, great discussions. See you all very, very soon. See you all next week. So to summarize, guys, we are doing the... Let's see. Oof, look here, Bitcoin. Let me check how Matic is doing. Because this thing has been lagging. And, you know, I like to find these things that are a bit slow. That are lagging behind. See, Matic, it's... From all-time high... Man, it still has 84% to go to all-time high. So that's why I was so happy when Solana started to pump, because, you know, I mean, Solana, it's crazy. So when Solana started to do this, I mean, absolutely go berserk, that's when it's a good opportunity to try to think, okay, what will pump? Okay, when Solana does so well, I mean, what things still have not pumped that may do well? So let's see if Matic can do it, hopefully. But yeah, guys, this is a bit off topic. It's ZG and Moon Talk, and this is intellectual channel, only about development, only about coding, science, and applied sciences. Almost. Guys, have a good day, and goodbye. Goodbye.